I just love you very much from a distance.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Love you. And so again, no coincidence. The first thing this morning, I check your channel, Tarot by Janine, and I'm gonna attach again, Tarot by Janine, Sending Ravens, and follow Janine on Instagram and follow me on Instagram too, because it's important, you know, you stay on track with things, and now everything changes like in a second. So you did the reading this morning about the election, and I was like, perfect, because this is exactly where I would like to start. Because my question is, and everyone should go and check Janine's reading first, and then you connect with this, because this is all makes sense, no mistake. My question, Janine, is, in your reading, you mention, it looks like, which I also feel, that Trump will win, but that he will win for some kind of surprise in a way, something unusual that will change the voting in the United States forever. So since you know Charlie Ward and you know a lot and you listen, I was wondering, this actually might be, Janine, this quantum voting system that Charlie was mentioning, that there is a quantum financial system and quantum voting system. So I was wondering if you can tell us how the cards and you see this. Is this the new changing the voting system forever? Is this the quantum voting system?
Let's have a look. So let's literally ask that. Okay. So in that reading, I'm assuming you're talking about the part where I say it's a very unique going forward. The votings or the elections will never be the same.
Correct.
It was the Seven of Wands card. Now, for me, the Seven of Wands is a uniqueness and something that's never been done before. So it sounds like a weird way to read the card, but I've been doing this for 35 years. So the cards start to have a relationship with the person. So they're my tools, and they have a relationship with me. And that Seven of Wands, and all my students will tell you, I always read it as there's a uniqueness to it. So wherever it comes in the reading, it means stick to your unique approach, or you're going to take a unique approach, or something's going in a really unique direction. So that's kind of how I read that card, depending on where it comes in the reading. Right? So of course it depends on so many different things. Seven. So they've been working on this for a really long time, and it's something that's going to be, this card's about law. So it's going to be brought into law or change things legally. They've been working on it. This is a strategic card. I don't know if you can see that.
I see.
Strategy. So Seven of Swords is, see how the guy with the swords, he's moving things around. So something's been done or rewritten. Something's been rewritten, and now it's legal. So it's going forward legally, the way they vote or the way they bring in their governments changed on a legal level, and it's in writing. Seven of Swords, it's in writing. And it was strategically put in place over maybe many documents created this. So I wonder if anybody could speak to that in the comments, if they know anything. Because I'm going in blind as usual. I don't really know a lot about, I don't study the voting systems.
So it might have been implementing lately, right?
Yeah, it'll completely change the system. So like you said, so that's a yes. So it's going to completely take out the old system and restructure, because the tower, it looks really scary, but it's about restructuring on like something wasn't built on a good foundation. That's why that tower's coming down. The tower only happens when something's been sitting on a foundation that's rotten or just not built properly. So the whole thing comes down and then it gets restructured from the ground up. So I still think there's going to be a lot of restructuring, but I think they've done something legally and in writing over a period of time.
Amazing.
That creates going forward, not the way they bring in their governments in the future will change. Now we should ask if that's to the better of the US, because obviously they're going to want to know that.
Yes.
Now we're assuming that it is, but we don't know for sure. And that's where cards come in handy.
Okay.
So let's see if it improves things there.
Perfect.
Because we know they needed improvement. And well, everywhere does, but we know they did for sure.
Where we go one, we go all, right?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's have a look. Well, that seems to be the plan. So their intention is the Three of Wands, which is going into brand new territory. And wands are optimistic and there's integrity to wands. So the intention is to go into a new, more integral way of creating and or calling in their governments. Now, we've been discovering, or I've been discovering, suspected this, but I didn't know for sure, but now I know for sure. They're all manipulated.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it says I'm losing my internet.
Janine, I'm sorry. Can you repeat what is manipulated? Because the connection stopped for a moment. Okay, so almost all voted in leaders are manipulated. Yeah. So apparently, like that's why Hillary Clinton was so sure she was already planning her big party after she was going to be elected, because the deep state was so good at placing people and making sure and manipulating elections in the states. And it looks like they're moving away from that to new territory where that's not going to be possible. So I guess that's this quantum system they're talking about, yes, which apparently is unable to be cracked, right, or very safe as far as manipulation goes. That is amazing. So that is amazing. From that kind of cabal system of manipulation, deep state, new world order stuff, right? So yeah, exactly. As I was saying those words, the devil comes up. So yeah, that they're moving it away from there, but there is going to be, it's going to be tricky. It's not, like there's still a lot of things to work out and a lot of, they're going to probably need a lot of work here to reset things like that. I think they still got a ways to go. I don't think it's going to be a cinch. But what I tell you, because I'm in US right now, and I'm actually watching almost every rally that Trump does, okay? And I watch this as almost like a observation of the crowd, how people react, what they shout, the energy. I'm reading the energy of those gatherings, and the number of people, Janine, that it's incredible. The energy is so stimulated. And I'm like, there is no way he will lose. If he will lose, it will be only because they cheat during the voting, okay? Only by cheating. If the election was stolen, that's the only way. So when you had this reading today, this morning, I was like, oh my God, this actually can be this quantum voting system. So thank you, this is amazing. It's amazing because there's no other way that they would win if they don't, they will have to cheat. Yeah, and when I did the reading, the first sort of reading I did a couple of weeks ago on the election, it was very obvious at that time that things weren't going to go how the Democrats wanted it to go, that's for sure. And we've since discovered that unfortunately, the entire camp, Democratic camp, maybe not every single person in the Democrats, and not every Democrat, obviously, but the camp in general has been really infiltrated over years and years by
to something like what was it? There was some great ideas. I would even say I was a bit of a left. Absolutely, because I'm into taking care of our elders, taking care of like free education. I'm into all kinds of things that maybe the left might have been originally all about, right? But then they took it and hijacked it and turned it into like it twisted it. Everything gets twisted. So good ideas get turned into agendas for the deep state and used against us. And it's just horrifying to discover that that's been happening. And it's going to be hard for a lot of people when they first get that red pill that we've already sort of been digesting.
You know,
basically.
I'm not surprised because what you're saying exactly is how the communism is. And I grew up in communism.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is. It's a certain concept that is twisted to oppress people. It's so certain way. That's what and what is now this Democratic Party is completely not what it was years and years ago. This is very radical right now, very radical.
Or what they said they were.
Oh,
I think
yes.
Going on for a really long time. So they placed all of these, they hijacked feminism and feminists.
Yeah.
They hijacked all of those ideas and turned it against women. If you really look at it, it actually degrades women, but it appears to be for women. They hijacked a freedom of, under the guise of letting everybody have a voice. They've oppressed everybody because all of a sudden, if you speak up against anybody, you're going to hurt their feelings. So now you're going to be oppressed. So they actually turned it all around. It's like flip, just like we know that dastardly, as I like to call it, deep state agenda sort of, we know that's their agenda, right?
Yeah.
Am I back on? Because it looked like I was off for a sec.
Your connection is, yes, that's why I'm checking, but I think it's maybe on your side. So Janine, this will lead me to my next question connected to this. I would like to know, after the election, do you see there will be kind of a civil war, or to some extent pretty drastic response to the results of the election? I don't feel this, but I know a lot of people are concerned that it might be really dangerous for a while. You know, like those riots. You remember those riots? They were in the United States recently. So this will be this kind of thing. So I would like to know how this will unfold afterwards, and if so, how long it will last.
Okay, I think there is going to be a little bit of stress. So we've got the Three of Swords. So you're definitely going to have some people very upset. Absolutely. Not as much as you're believing, because this card talks about worrying about things. So a small percentage of this guy's worries. See all the swords going this way?
Yes.
Swords in tarot are thoughts and words. And this person is worrying about things that aren't necessarily going to come true. Only a small percentage of those swords go right through his head. So, or, you know, in the background. So it's indicating that there might be a 30% chance of some issues that you're talking about, but not nearly as many. And things will correct themselves very quickly.
Wow.
So they're coming through a gateway because it has something to do with information. So as information is presented to the public, so this guy's truth, and he's coming out with the truth, and he's an educated person people respect. So some kind of information will be presented in a way, and there's a lot of legality to that guy too. He's usually a lawyer. So somebody's coming out, I don't know exactly who, or a whole bunch of information that feels like it'll appear legit and or be legit enough for people to accept it. So I think they're going to let us in on some of what's been going on, and I think that'll help.
Yes.
So I feel like these broadcasts that we're hearing
Janine, can you repeat this last
will
sentence?
likely happen.
Can you repeat, Janine, because I lost you completely.
It's true. I think we're going to start here. I think we're going to. Okay, I think we're going to hear the truth. I believe something really legal. So they're going to present things in a way that it's going to be believable and also follow up, right, with paperwork and things like that. So I think they are going to present why they did what they did, them being the Republicans.
Do you think that will calm that situation, right?
I think it'll help people understand why everything's happened the way it has, because we've been fooled for so long that, you know, we're assuming that we're getting fooled again. And I think they'll explain a lot of things that are very causing a lot of fear for people. I think it'll explain what you and I already have been talking about, and truthers have been talking about, but a huge part of the population thinks we're crazy.
Yes.
Right?
Completely unaware.
I think it'll explain. What's that?
I'm losing you. The connection is not good, but we cannot give up. The connection is not good, but we will go through this. Janine.
I think it explains it that amount, that I'll be able to edit.
I will try to, yes, but
can you hear me?
Yes, it's still important.
Okay.
You know, even if it doesn't go through smoothly, there is a reason, huh? They're trying to twist our Zoom conversation. No way, Jose.
Yeah. Yeah. We won't let them. Right on.
So another question I have for you. This concept of Nesara and Gesara is in a way unfolding already. So the debt forgiveness, there's a lot of people whose debts have been forgiven, like the loans, car loans, mortgages, cars, etc. What I want to ask you, Janine, because this is worldwide, and many countries, over 200 countries sign up for this agreement. This Nesara Gesara worldwide will establish peace, will establish certain stability financially as far as the currency value and so forth. Also this new technologies that were suppressed, like med beds, all of this is in the same group. But what I would like to ask you, I was thinking one question about this is this. When this new gold standard will be announced, United States is first and then goes the world. So when they announce the currency that is backed by gold, all those central banks will be gone because this is all connected, this corruption thing. The politics, the church, the banks, the royal family, all the same group. So when they changed for the golden standard, they are taking the power away from those banks, and it's completely new system. So I would like to ask you, when the cards and you see this is a breaking point when they announce the gold standard.
So the timing on it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's have a look. Wow. Okay, it looks like it's already happened or happening. So we've got the sun. So what you're talking about is already, like you said, in progress. This is abundance and wealth, and the sun, celebration, childlike. Like those are the two best cards around, and wealth, not just for one country, but everybody's going to join in the wealth. So it sounds too good to be true, because I'm a realist, but it's consistent in the cards that the best scenario of that is true. And there's a whole bunch of misinformation that I've discovered that I think is coming from the deep state. It's their last little ploy. They've been putting out that if you are going to involve yourself in Jasara Nasara, you'll have to sign away your property. You'll have to. It's basically like the worst case scenario, and you're signing away all your rights for it, which is not the plan at all. But it's like trying to help get people to fear, once again, fear what's good for them and go towards what isn't good and keep the old system. And that's their last ditch effort. So whatever you do, people, trust your instincts and remember to pass everything through your intuition, because right away you can feel that if you look up the words Jasara Nasara, that is not the intention behind it. And common law, that's not the intention. So it's fooling us again. So remember, this war, this silent war, this war that's been going on, right? It's literally a war.
Yep, exactly.
It's an information war. Whoops, sorry.
No problem.
Hang on, let me just
real life.
It's an information war, and it's just horrifying.
Yes. Yes.
All the information that's coming out to downplay this. No, I every time I do a reading on it, it looks like it's truly the best scenario of it. This is actually what's in the middle. That's the world card. So we're stepping into a whole other world, and it's going to be hard to get used to it. And it won't happen overnight. It's going to take time for everybody, right? But things just get a lot better because our whole motivation has been, like we're in the rat race.
Yes.
And we're not going to be in the rat race anymore. So we're going to have more time to actually relax. Things aren't going to be like, we're not going to be ruled by debt, ruled by the almighty dollar. All of a sudden, the value goes way down in a way because life becomes more important, which is like bringing back the goddess, like I keep talking about. Enjoying nature, enjoying your family. You're going to have more time to do that because you're not going to be so worried that you're going to lose everything because it's threatening to be taken away from you because of an illegal system called debt.
Yes. Right? I have to tell you.
Take away all our rights in that debt.
Something came to me now from you through your words, literally, like I channeled something from you. That system that was created with the federal banks and all this scam, it was a scam.
Yeah.
The corruption scam. It was not just about the power and the greed aspect of it, okay? But it really came to me from you right now. When you were saying about the goddess and the truth, that was one of the way of the evil dark energy to suck the energy from us through that system. So this life-giving energy was sucked.
Yeah.
Literally from those worrying about money, from this hamster wheel hustle, rat race, that energy was created and it was feeding like a food, like a fuel.
Yeah. And then they gave us the music, the fashion industry, all these industries. And they gave us these industries to always be striving for more new cars every year instead of fixing what we have or creating or allowing creations to be out there that could last many, many years. Okay, they took that away because anybody who had an invention that could actually be helpful, useful, and last a really long time, and maybe even heal people, whatever, those were repressed. People they even lost their lives to hide, things that inventions that could actually help mankind.
Correct.
And that's a whole lot of money and time. Okay. No, they don't want anything like that. They want everything to break down in a short amount of time, replace parts. You need to have all these moving parts. They've got technology that you don't need all the moving parts, okay, that you have to spend all the money on. They have the technology to create things that are much simpler, but nobody's hearing about those things and they're keeping them all to themselves, them being or have been, it's been the case, but I believe those taken out, and I'm really happy about it.
You know,
I'm so joyous about it.
It's, to me, I now again, it's like I'm listening to you and I have those flashes of like, I remember when I moved to America, to United States, and I saw the level, how the consumption was extreme. People were throwing out things on the street, like new TV, new furniture. The level of like not appreciating what we have. Like you just said, striving for more and more and more, endless. So Janine, do you see a time frame for this new system to be revealed officially?
Oh yeah, that's what you asked. Okay, it feels so now, but let's have a look. I guess the cards or the universe just wanted to channel to us, you know, how exciting it's, and that it's good, and that there's a lot of misinformation that's trying to scare us from it. Don't be afraid. Trust in your heart, right? To feel intuitively what's right. Okay, let's have a look. Timing. So they've been working on this for a really long time. That I didn't know that, but we're finding that out because this card comes in the past. This is working on it for a really long time, but it's about 80%. So when you get this card, this is an 80% card. I'm going to say end of November or very early New Year. Between those times, and maybe over that time, it spreads out over the world. So like you said, it could start, and it already has started in the States. And I think it starts spreading all over the rest of the world. I'm thinking between late November and early New Year.
Amazing. You know, you just confirm again, because like I repeat this many times. What Trump likes to do, he likes to reverse what has been done for the evil. So what they twisted on us, he twisted around. You know, when they announced federal bank, Janine, it was on the 21st of December in 1913. So he might announce it right before Christmas, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because the date, it's significant. It's like it was done in December, it will be undone.
Yeah, they're using a lot of numerology for sure. Yeah, and a lot of people.
So happy. I'm so happy. So people invest in silver and gold. Whatever money you have, just buy now, because the prices were skyrocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Janine, so another question is, when this whole shenanigans with the flu, like you call it, let's use your language.
The scary flu.
The scary flu. When the shenanigans with scary flu will end completely, and the masks, no more.
So the thing itself, the scary flu, is coming up as the magician. So it's all made up anyway. A big fat lie, right? Don't forget that it's flu season, literally flu season, here in Canada anyway, and maybe in the United States, lots of places. Wherever it's getting colder is flu season. So if you're in a country where it's actually going into fall and winter, you're going to see that any numbers they're coming up with that are supposed to be wreaking havoc and creating issues are likely, they're just taking the numbers of flu issues or deaths or people contacting the flu, and they're lumping them in. You know, it's like the biggest farce ever. I've never seen anything like it. What kind of BS they're pulling. you know, to those who don't already have this all figured out. So the magician, so it's all a big lie anyway, okay? They're already looking at, so it's within sight. Okay, 5. Oh, okay, so we've got the Queen of Wands. So in the next month and a half, so shortly after the election, which is in what, 13 days, I think by the end of November, it's like nobody can get away with their silliness anymore, because this card's the truth comes out. So once the truth comes out, and it looks like it's in the next month to a month and a half. Let's hope that's days, not month and a half. Let's hope that's days.
Because now they are doing, in London I saw those restrictions are crazy, and in Poland it's even getting more and more crazy. But again, I'm thinking this is really connected with changing the banking system completely. This is about the banking system and about other aspects, like the church.
It's a cover-up.
It's a cover-up.
I think it's also to show you what those governments had planned and what can happen when you're not paying attention. I think it's to drive home to people and get them ready to want to ditch their systems that would do that to them. I think it's a way to for us to discover we can't trust our governments to do that. I mean, on no science, okay, on no, like very, very rickety science. And it's fascinating to me, they can shut down a whole world, and it's fascinating to me that even though so many really respected healthcare practitioners and people coming forward all over the world, and people are suing their governments and they're still going ahead. So that tells you something. It was a plan that had only nefarious intentions behind it. And I think they're allowing it, they being maybe the white hats, I don't know exactly, but allowing it to continue to be out there at least, so you can see what they're gonna shut down on our behalf, because that's what we could look forward to, and I don't think it's gonna actually happen. So every time I read on all of these big scary stories about concentration like camps going up in Canada and things, it looks like they're allowing those stories to come out because they were the plan, but they're actually not going to be able to do those plans. But that was the plan, and they're allowing us to see it so we understand what we're stepping away from and what was the plan for humans.
It's amazing
how close we got to that.
Yeah, like how blessed we are that there is this divine protection over us, because now we see what could be. And if that protection, that God's love and light wouldn't exist and protect us, we would be already in it. We would be in it. We would be going to those camps, literally, right?
Yeah. And I like to throw the goddess in there too.
The goddess, yes, I mean, yes.
The love of like self-love, human love, and come back to compassion. Like, what's the goddess mean? Love of earth, love of, like, we're part of the earth. We are beings living on the earth plane. So the goddess is the earth mother energy, like that. So spirit world. I don't think it has a sex. So I like to stay away from the word God, but that's just me, because I know so many people like using that, and that's great.
You're right, because it has this connotation.
But I want to just add that, like, it doesn't have a sex. There's no guy in the sky to me. It's like part of every single human, and it's part of our balance between our masculine and feminine, which every single human has a balance of, varying different balances, but it's been imbalanced in the feminine, and she's coming back, that energy. The feminine balance is coming back, so we can bring back the idea of compassion, love, and nurturing and taking care of our children, not doing horrific things to them like this deep state's been doing, using them as commodity, using our own children and women as breeders, and horrific things that have been going on in these tunnels. It's like the goddess is going to stop that. She's the angry mother who's like, are you kidding? You leave my children alone.
Yes. Powerful stuff. You know, when you did this reading this morning and you mentioned about this feminine aspect next to Trump, about the Empress card, and that he is bringing that goddess energy, that aspect of feminine back into the power, I could feel it, because I do perceive him as someone who appreciates women, even in his surrounding, like in his administration. There's a lot of women working there, okay? Yeah. And that's how I see it. And I do believe that, like you're saying, this is the healing. This is the healing that comes from this goddess feminine energy. Very nurturing, very loving, yet very powerful.
Yeah, and somehow he got chosen, and I guess as we go forward, we'll figure out and put together why, or we don't even need to know. The universe has very mysterious ways and chooses energies to herald things in. And I'm thinking he's heralding it in, regardless of what anyone thinks of him. That's what it appears that he's doing. And according to my cards, it says that. And a lot of people believe that. So it's like, okay, let's see. It's so beautiful.
Janine, I'm excited. Before I forget about the masks, how was the mask situation?
You mean how long for masks? Well, I guess in every place it'll be different, but let's have a look. General, Three of Swords. The masks are doing more harm than protection, by the way. We're going to find that it's putting our immune system down. It's very stressful, causing a lot of stress, mental health issues. It's really stressful to not be able to read somebody's face with their facial expression, all right, because they're all covered up. It's just in every way absolutely ludicrous. And the science around, does it actually do any protection? If there was actually some airborne supposed germs going around that could harm us, like, it's all built on a whole bunch of BS from the start. So, and on top of it, people walking around in fresh air with masks on, got to give their head a shake. Like, wake up, like, smarten up. You got to be crazy to do that. That's insanity. The science doesn't back it up at all either. Like, people are always saying, well, look at the science. Yeah, look at the science.
Exactly, look at the science. There's a form of disease, Janine. There is a form, I forgot, Fauci actually is part of it, that has some kind of, like, a new bacteria is created from this when you wear the mask. And then you literally can die from this. I forgot the name, something like phemobia, something. Like when you wear the mask for too long, you're creating this, and that is a cause of your illness.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable, the stupidity, frankly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's just showing us how we've been indoctrined and completely fooled by the mainstream. So it's just part of that. It's about to switch, though. The outcomes, like, suddenly it'll all be thrown out the window. Suddenly it'll all end, and it likely has something to do with them coming out with the truth just after the election. So it's very soon, actually. I'd say within the next month.
Please. My gosh.
Yeah, I think that whole thing's just going to be exposed as the big BS ruse that it was to literally collapse the economy. And so many things will be explained, and I just can't wait for that, because so many people need to hear it.
Me too. And I have to tell you, honestly, for me, what really aggravates me the most when I see it is on older people and on children. When I see older people and children, I get, like, furious, and I curse in Polish when I see it. Because I'm like, what are they doing? This child is like 5 years old. This is abuse. It's abuse. Okay, so that is good. One more thing, Janine, is, well, in this what you just said, all of it, I don't think it's even that like, there's an answer already. But someone asked me from my subscribers and followers, is there a possibility, for example, like in United it will all come together.
I think the past agenda was to keep everybody split, and that's been happening over many years. Just divisive things that have just divided the nation. That's been happening. So that was the agenda in the past, was the division, which they very much accomplished as far as I can see, but not nearly as good as they wanted to, because I think this was the card that came up when it looked like Trump was going to win when I did that reading.
Yep.
So if you go to Tarot by Janine and watch my latest update on the election, that card came, and that's a Trump win. And this card was around that same reading. So the coming together. So I feel like it'll actually bring a lot of people together once the truth gets put out there. Like that'll need to happen. That'll need to happen. It's actually going to improve things.
Good. No splitting.
This is a very quick improvement card.
So that's good. It's united. It's united.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the mainstream media that's been pitting people against each other, not actually the people. I think people are growing out of the need to be separate like that. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
There's all kinds of intermarriage. There's all kinds of. It's like they're pitting them with this really old idea that people are still not evolved enough to understand that we're all soulfully, spiritually connected. It's like, how stupid do they think we are? We know better. Exactly. And every generation gets more knowledgeable about that. The yes. Youth, they're not buying it anymore. What a bunch of BS. Get over it. That's an old, I don't even know how they thought that was. It just goes to show you how the deep state's run by a whole bunch of old people. It's like, you guys just step aside, because nobody's buying that anymore.
That's why they were using the celebrities in Hollywood so much lately, you know?
Yeah.
Because this is the only channel.
Whoops, here we go again. Sorry.
So Janine, I have to first of all ask you one more thing about, I remember when I was watching your Sending Ravens channel, you were in a way like coaching your students about tarot. Do you still do it? Do you still teach people about tarot or no?
Yeah, I have a Patreon channel, okay. And it's Janine Morigeau, Morigeau. So that's my last name. That's a Métis last name, French and native Canadian, Morigeau. And under that name, you can look me up on Patreon. Also, I'll put a link under my Sending Ravens to get to my Patreon. I actually have to figure out how to do that because I'm kind of not that smart about stuff like that.
But you sent to me and I'll figure it out. No, but it's so important because I have to tell you, and it didn't mention, and I apologize, because my channel is pretty new and is slowly growing, but I have beautiful, wonderful subscribers and they absolutely love you. And our first interview had the highest number of viewing and the most comments and the most likes. And I was so happy that people, appreciate you so much. Some of them were like your longtime fans and some were like introduced to you. So I was like, you never know. Some people really want to study tarot and you're the best. In my opinion, you're the best. So
yeah, it's a wonderful tool. And just helps us learn how intuitive we actually are. It actually helps people get in touch with their intuition if you learn the tarot. So anybody, even if you're not inclined, if you're just interested and you like the visuals of it, it can be a really inspiring tool. And some people just use it, most people, for their own, and other people are very few, but there's the odd one that actually becomes a reader. And it's quite a thing to become a reader. You have to love, other humans. You have to really be prepared to set your ego outside the room. And all day you're talking about other people's things that have nothing to do with your opinion. Your opinion doesn't count. The universe talks to that. The higher self of that person channels through you. So you have to learn that you're just the reflection. You're not the wise one. Their own higher self is. They're just connecting with their higher self. So you're of service. But of course, if it's your livelihood, you're making your living from it. So that's wonderful, but you're still in service. It's a service. You're not a great guru if you're a card reader. And I don't like card readers that present themselves as I'm nobody's guru. I only want people to empower themselves with their own intuitive knowing and to recognize their beauty and soul and connection to soul. That's all I care. That's what I want. I'm not smarter than anybody. I learn from all my clients. And all my students, I learned so much.
So Janine, tell me this. Yeah. Actually, again, it's so beautiful because I literally, when you speak, I get another inspiration from you. This actually might be a very important question to end this beautiful interview conversation. And I'm grateful, I'm so grateful for you. As a card tarot reader, you also attract a lot of energies that are not good energies because they don't want the truth to come out. So you have to protect yourself, right? And then nowadays, there is this moment when we will be all in a way like readers of this new truth, real truth coming out. So we still have those leftovers of this negativity, this like bad energies coming to us, right? What is your advice from your life experience? The best way to transition into this new golden age?
Around protecting ourselves, is that what you're... Okay, so I'm kind of funny because, well, I smudge a lot. I use sage and I have salt baths after reading all day. But because I'm channeling and reflecting, I'm not actually using personal energy. When I'm working with somebody, I'm actually, the spirit world's reflecting and coming through me and using me to speak to the people I'm working with. So I'm reading their higher selves, what their higher self wants to tell them. So I actually don't feel like I take on, every once in a while, I will take on somebody's negative energy, but most of people that come to me, I'm reading their soul essence. If they made themselves available to have a reading with me, or we created that, I haven't been calling deep, yes, troubled people with troubles, but they're people that come to me usually want to heal and work through stuff. So I don't actually find I'm picking up everybody's, I have that, maybe I just have really good boundaries, but I'm not afraid of people's energy either. I'm kind of fearless, and I'm pretty sure if you've been watching my channels, you know that about me, right? I'm fearless. I'm not afraid of the dark side. The dark side doesn't scare me. I was in those tunnels in past lives. I was enslaved, raped, and pillaged by the dark side. That's why they can't touch me this lifetime. They're karmically not coming after me this lifetime. I'm not a bit afraid, and that's why I'm exactly doing what I'm doing. And I'll talk about their dastardly deeds because I've experienced them firsthand, and they karmically they don't get me this lifetime. That's why I do what I do. I figured that out. And they're just not, dark energy, everyone has a little bit of it inside themselves, and you'll channel it when you're channeling. But if you have really good boundaries, you can shift it over, right? I don't know. I'm not afraid of people's energy. Anyway, but other people who don't have the boundaries I have, because that took lifetimes to create those kind of boundaries I have, you're going to need salt baths every single night after you read others, because salt takes away and takes out negativity and draws out negative energy. You're going to need to smudge regularly, smudge your cards, use tourmaline, right? Black tourmaline in your room. I have a huge stone in my room that a wonderful friend of mine gave me. So I've got this great big chunk of black tourmaline. That really helps because it takes negativity out of the atmosphere. Use tools, look up tools to create good boundaries if you don't naturally have them. Wear tourmaline. Don't wear quartz crystal when you're reading people because that magnifies. So if you've got a dark person's sorrowful energy or whatever, you're going to magnify it and carry it around. Yeah, wear the right tools.
Okay.
Stones.
And prayer.
Well, What's prayer? I don't know. I'm personally part of the universal love, so I'm not going to pray what I'm praying to myself.
Prayer for me is talking to God, to the
Okay.
to the love. That's
Your higher self.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's my form of praying. I'm not praying
your
like
wisdom.
a church.
Okay. Yeah, because I can, if somebody wants to pray, they can pray. That's great. I don't pray to anybody because nobody's more important or less important than me, my higher self, and me connect. So I suggest a really close spiritual connection with yourself. Learn to love yourself and see yourself as the goddess energy, and that's we've been told we're not special and we're not. Guess what? We're all connected to what people are calling God or goddess or universal love or whatever. We're all a part of it, so that makes everybody special. You'll start to see the specialness in everyone if you think that way, and you will also love yourself. It doesn't make you better than anybody, by the way, or less than. That's the that's where you'll find balance. When you learn to absolutely connect and recognize that you channel God, goddess, it comes through you. And God, goddess energy, spirit world, universal love, loves everyone equally, but also themselves. So you'll never put yourself in a compromising position because you're going to take care of yourself, because you're going to be self-loving.
So beautiful. I'm so glad you said this. It's really so important. Beautiful, Janine. Thank you for this. Thank you so much. You know, again,
you're welcome.
Touched on something about those tunnels and that you have been there before and you've been abused. It's incredible how this morning I was taking the walk, and I received this, exactly what you said. I received this information that when we were there, because we were there, and we transitioned, and our soul has been born in this flesh right now as we are. That's why we have so much love and compassion and sense of injustice and cruelty, because we were there. We literally, like you said, and amazing how it's all connected, because I felt this. I said, so here I am now watching this from a different perspective and feeling the pain of it from a different perspective, because I've been there. Like my soul was in that body that no longer exists. I'm so
a lot of the truthers have had that experience. I think they come from lifetimes, and that's why there's out there talking truth and exposing this. Probably a lot of the people going in the tunnels, literally with these military groups, these secret groups that apparently are gathered from all over the world, apparently. Those people on the front lines like that, you can be sure probably had some lifetimes connected to this kind of darkness. And that's why they are brave enough to go do what they do. And I'm so thankful for those people.
I am so grateful.
Doing healing work with people who have survivors. They probably experienced it.
I'm so grateful for those people, and I'm so grateful for you, because this is a different form of fighting with this evil and standing for the light and standing for the truth and standing for the beauty of the human existence, the beauty of it that was so suppressed. And I'm so grateful, Janine. I know I repeat this over and over. I'm just grateful for you and for your time. And I think we might connect again in some time from now when things are unfolding. But look, this is amazing, because the shenanigans will end. The information will wake people up, and then the gold standard will in a way ground them to the new, better reality. So they have to wake up.
It looks good. It looks really good in the cards.
I'm so happy.
And sooner than people think. Like, I think we're on the cusp of a beautiful new world, and I'm so excited. And thank you so much. And you introduced me to spiritually raw peoples, and I just love those two. What a beautiful couple.
They
and
are so good.
for introducing people around like you do, right?
Yeah.
You're sharing all these connections, and that's very important.
I will actually send this video to Charlie Ward because he has to watch it, you know, for many reasons. One of the
right on.
Yeah, is because of the quantum voting system, Janine. He is the one who was mentioning this, the first ones. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to him, and he will. I'm sure he will watch, and I hope he can really have you on his show, because there is, you know what, they cancel all his show, but he just creates another one and another one.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know. He's a brave guy. I love bravery.
Doesn't give up.
Yeah.
Janine, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, I mean, really, truly, the best is yet to come.
Yeah. Yay.
Bye.
Thank you, sweetie.